Hey guys, thanks so much for stopping by today. I'm going to be creating a 12 by 12 layout today using this really gorgeous sketch from Laura Whitaker. And I'm just showing you that sketch there now on my iPad. And if I remember, I will link it up in the description below. And I'm also going to be using some of the elements from the City Sidewalks kit from Scrapbook and Cards today, as well as some items from my stash as well, including this piece of vellum, which I think is from Stampin' Up. I've had it in my stash for a while, but I'm pretty sure that's where I got this. And I'm not 100% sure if you can still get this from Stampin' Up, but it is really nice. And I just really love the gold accents with the pink and the other pastel colors that I'm going to be using in this layout today. Now I printed my photographs in 2.8 by 2.8, and they are printed obviously in black and white, which I really like how they go. I like how the black and white looks with the pastel colors, and the black and white is really perfect anyways because there's a lot of snow in these photographs, and it just worked out really well to print them like that. Now I decided to just put the photographs directly on top of each other in a vertical line. They were offset a little bit in the sketch, but I liked how on my particular layout how they looked better, just kind of in a vertical line like that. Now I'm taking this piece of burlap specialty paper from American Crafts with the little white polka dots on it, and then that pastel pattern paper with the trees on it from Snow and Cocoa, and I'm going to just build some layers here for my photo mat using those different papers. And I've created a tag from a piece of the teal snowflake paper from the 6x6 pad from Snow and Cocoa that you see there. I just actually fussy cut around a tag from the die cut pack to create this colored tag that you see there. I just thought that the color of this tag looked a little bit better than the ones that were in the die cut pack with this particular combination of colors. Now I just took the foil circle from that piece of vellum. I cut one of those foil circles out to create a reinforcement on my tag, just to have a little bit of gold on that tag. And there are several spots where I have gold accents on this layout. So I just wanted to keep that going and put a little bit of gold on this tag. So I just glued that on there, and I'm going to take my hole punch and cut a hole in that reinforcement. Eventually I am going to add a little bit of twine to that tag, and I'm going to add actually a little bit of black and white twine there. So you'll see that I add some black elements of black here and there on the layout just to create a little bit of a pop of black. So I put that tag pretty much exactly where it is on the sketch, and I wanted to use as many of the different little embellishments from that City Sidewalks kit as possible. So I'm just trying some of them on the layout to see what I like. And I'm also going to use some of the different little bits and pieces from that die cut pack from Snow and Cocoa as well. And I just have that there off to the side. And I'm just going to grab a few little pieces out that I think might work on this layout. So I really like that little pink banner that says the wonders of winter on it. And I'm going to take another little circle die cut out of there that says Snow City Rental. And I'm going to use that as another little pop of black up in a little cluster there above that tag. So I'm just going to take out as well one of those wooden buttons, and I really like that repeating of that kind of craft tone with that wood button. And I'm going to actually take it and add a little bit of craft twine in it as well, just to add a little more texture to it. And I really love that glittery gold word magic from the City Sidewalks kit, and I'm definitely going to use that in the title for the layout as well. So just taking a look again in that die cut pack to see if there's anything else there that I want to use. And on the sketch, there was a little scallop detail along the left edge of the photo mat, and I really like the looks of that. So what I decided to do is take some of this paper from the Gather collection from Maggie Holmes, and this is from the City Sidewalks kit. And I'm going to just take my scallop punch, and I'm going to just cut a little bit of a border and use that as a little more detail along the edge. I really like how that looked, and I think it just gives it a little more texture and detail on that side. So I'm just going to cut that down so that it's the right length for the burlap paper that's on there. And I just want to make sure that it's about the same length or a little bit shorter than that specialty paper that's in the photo mat. So I really like how that little pop of black now is over as well on that left edge. And now, like I said before, I'm going to use the black and white twine in that tag. I'm just going to take a piece of that and put that into the tag and tie a little bow. And that is going to be a little more texture and detail on that right side. So now I'm just taking those little bits and pieces that are in that cluster, and I'm just putting them where I think I want them to go. I ended up putting a little gold enamel dot on that little circle die cut just for a little more gold detail on that black, and it just kind of pops off that black really nicely. So I like how that looks. And I'm just putting that burlap twine, like I said, into, or that craft twine, it's not burlap, it's craft, into the holes of that wooden button. And I'm just going to stick that down with a little bit of a glue dot there, and I'm going to then pop it up on a foam dot also, just to give it a little more extra dimension. And that little pink tag has got some foam behind it too, so that little button will now stick up above that. So I did print the journaling here on my computer, and I left a spot on that tag for it, but it's not really quite the right size, and I was too lazy to go back to my computer and do another one. So I decided that maybe I would put a different embellishment on that tag instead. But those little puffy houses don't quite work, and I didn't really like the polar bear. But I really like this little snowman. He's vertical, first of all, so that's the right kind of direction for that element to be going. And I like how it lines up with that tree paper as well. So the snowman ends up being the element that I choose for that area. Now I just took the word winter from the sticker sheet from Snow and Cocoa, and I just really like the gold foil accents on that word, on those words, or those letters, I should say. So the title is going to be Winter Magic for the layout. I know it's super original, right? Like, I'm not necessarily the best wordsmith with my titles, but anyway, it works. So I'm going to take some foam tape and pop up those photographs on a little bit of foam just to bring them up a little bit off the layout. And you'll just see me doing that here. Like I said, I'm going to keep those photographs directly one above the other. And I tried to leave about the same amount of space with that burlap paper above and below each of the two photos. Now I'm going to take that foam glitter word magic and just stick that down. I've overlapped it a little bit over the bottom photograph. I'm going to take one of those little tree clips and put that up at the top above Jordan's head there on that top photo. And now I knew that I wanted a cluster on the left side, just as there was on the sketch, but I couldn't decide if I wanted it on the bottom corner or up a little bit higher. So I'm just taking some of the stickers from Snow and Cocoa and creating a little bit of a cluster there. I end up using that little reindeer head and some snowflakes, and I do end up moving it up a little bit higher on that left side, and that's where it was on the sketch. And I actually end up liking that a little bit better. I just think it balances the layout off a little bit better. Now you can see that I've matted the whole layout onto a piece of black and white paper from Snow and Cocoa, and I'm just outlining the whole layout with a black pen, and then I add my journaling and some splatters off camera, and you can see all of that in the still shots at the end. So that's going to be my layout today, guys, and thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you another time. Bye-bye.